today I kind of want to do a different type of discussion. I want to talk technology and how things are heading. So, I'm going to need this to discuss things, along with some other things as well. So, I'll be pulling them out as necessary. But I need to get this out of the case so you guys can kind of judge for yourself. So, we're going to get this stream going here in like 2 minutes, give or take. But I need to get my phone out of its case because this is going to be a prime example. Lucky for me, it comes out easy now. And not to mention I need to spend a little time cleaning it afterwards, so since I do take care of my stuff. But, give me a second. There we go. Had to put the case back together so I don't lose anything. Alright, let me go on ahead. We're going to share the stream. Here it is. I did have to mute my TV because it's going to be on this for a while, so I felt that it was going to be necessary. Channel. Share on Twitter. And I'll be sharing on Facebook. Alright. So, the reason why that I'm doing this type of stream for you guys today is to kind of explain my thought processes behind how tech is currently moving forward and all this fun stuff. So I felt that a stream like this is necessary. So, as you guys know, I'm a huge techie. When it comes to how I live my life. I mean, I've got smart lights in my house. I've got a smart TV. I've got 2 smartphones, wireless earbuds, smartwatch, a gaming PC, Xbox, a Razer controller, a Razer headset. I even have a Switch. Don't use it very often right now, but I have a Switch. Coming from a professional standpoint, I feel like certain things need to be talked about every so often. So, hence the reason why this stream exists. I personally believe that any good streamer or any good content creator will talk to you guys about this type of stuff in future dilemmas. So let's discuss this. I hear a lot of crap being thrown around right now on YouTube particularly, and it's mainly geared towards the Pixel, especially with the Pixel 10 release. Samsung's phone release, and just consistency. So I wanted to go on ahead. I wanted to discuss this because I believe that some clarity coming from a person who not only who sold devices like this for profit. I sold phones for commissions as well, so I think I'm a little bit more qualified to say this. You pick the phone that you not only know the best, but suits your needs. Like, take me for example. I needed something. If you don't have a full budget, you need to have one. You need to figure out what works for you, which operating system you prefer, and ultimately, how do I phrase this properly? And something that doesn't break the bank. And that's key. Take me for example. I used to run Pixel all the time before I had to switch over to an iPhone because my Pixel almost blew up. Not literally, but well, actually, no, scratch that. In a couple of months, it would have. But after that, I moved over to Samsung. I think it was like a couple of months after I moved in here. I got the S25 in 256. I love this thing. It's perfect for what I need versus what... this was also within the S25. It's still being out there, still being new. So, allow me to kind of dive a little deeper into that. I chose this phone because, one, I like the feel, I like the weight. Not to mention, I upped the storage module. Sometimes, and I used to not be a huge fan when I state this much, but because after looking at all the phones that were available to me, I could have went the Ultra. I could have, but at the time being, I didn't have a need for an S Pen. I didn't have a need for high cameras, because I rarely ever use them. This little guy here. Sorry, this little guy here. Granted, yes, I also have, like I said, I've got a good case for it. But this little thing is $800. Well, I got the storage upgrade, so it's $900. But it's cheap. It's really, really well priced. Now, I did do a opinion on certain things in the past. My opinions have changed when it comes to tech and all this fun stuff. For a while, I loved the Pixel line. I don't like the Pixel phones anymore. After having this for a year, well, close to a year, I feel like this phone is going to last me not just 4 years, but I think it could last me 6. And the reason why that I'm saying this now is Samsung lately has been pulling out all the stops on what they're putting into even their most basic model phone. It's giving, anytime that the Ultra gets a new treatment, they try to give these a new treatment as well, along with their middle of the way between the Ultra model and the base model, or as it's called, low flagship to high flagship. Their plus model. They're giving as much. Basically, they're releasing the same types of updates that that the Ultra would receive. The only difference really now between the model is personal preference and are you going to be using the S Pen. To me, since I'm not really using the S Pen, but I do like a more compact style phone. I went with the base model, just up the storage. and I can probably tell you from personal experience, I was pushing phones that had not just they were higher in price. After sitting here for a year with this phone, I don't need more. Granted, yes, I may just buy an old S24 Ultra because I did like the design of the Ultras from the S24 line. I like the bit more boxier edges. I don't like these rounded edges. They're prone to damage. Not to mention it's made out of titanium, so that would be the only reason why I would ever go to an Ultra. But just get this and add this. This is the OtterBox Defender Pro XT. Clear back, but it's got a silicone edge to protect the phone's weak points. This particular case is also MagSafe. It's MagSafe. So I don't see a reason to go to a higher phone. I mean, pricing wise, unless you're willing to drop $1,300 on a phone, you don't need the Ultra. You just need to realize what do you need and what do you need on a day-to-day basis. That's really all you need. That's really all you need to think about when looking at phones. Taking it from personal experience, because I was on the offer end. I was told to push the 25 or the wasn't the 25. It was at the time being it was the 24 Ultra more because there's promotions going on for it. Don't put promotions ahead of your brain. Yes, you may not be paying on that phone. The question is mainly, like, take T-Mobile for example. Right now they're on their highest plan. They're offering the 26 Ultra on them. Now personally, I've got my own opinions on the 26 Ultra. After doing a lot of looking and review work, it seems underwhelming. And I've also got my opinions on the Pixel as well. So, say la vie. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Of course, I won't have one to show you of either model, but I can tell you for a fact of what I've seen and do I believe either phone is worth it. But I will also be showing you guys something else as well. In fact, let me make sure that I've got the website pulled up for later, because you guys are going to need that. There we go. Here it is. We're going to need this here in a minute, because I'm going to search up Samsung. What the hell? Sorry about that. Had to pull that stuff up. So, personally for me, when you're looking into buying technology, and oh yeah, I also gotta move this over to my second screen. Hold on a sec. There we go. Because I'm going to be needing that here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, there's really no reason for you guys to have to. Okay, I'm actually going to do the unlocked variants. There we go. It's easier. So, but there's really no point in you guys having to. There's really no point in having to go after certain models of phones unless you know you're going to be using all of its features. Allow me to explain. So this is Gazelle. This is a company that I go through when I'm looking at phone prices and all this fun stuff. And I'm going to tell you, I trust these guys. I trust their opinions right now with what we know. Hold up, let me find my phone. Here it is, right here. Now, when you're talking phones, you always want to ensure. Hold on, I'm actually gonna do this for all of them. This way we can just take a look at these things. Look at the. Hold on, camera. There we go. The reasoning why I'm showing you guys this now is because I feel like that this is going to be necessary for stuff like this, for you guys to be able to see like what things are now versus when you first start looking at phones. This, where is it? This is mine, even though it's sold out. I originally paid, or I'm paying up to $800 on this, but I'm saving like $200 on it per month. Well, scratch that, because on top of that, I got the storage upgrade. The storage upgrade is, to me, was a need. It wasn't a want. It was a need because my old phone was running out of storage, and I'm not paying for cloud storage. There's no point to that. I'd rather go on ahead, link my phone up to my computer, and just transfer the files over that I know I'm not going to use right away, and put them on here. Not to mention, let me clear this crap out. But on top of that, I got my photos and stuff like that here too. I can access my apps from here. I've got all of this. This is a Microsoft phone link through Copilot. All my phone has to do is be on the same Wi-Fi, and I can access this right here, right now. It won't do anything to me other than just do that. Hence the reason why I enjoy this. Yes, I know I need to update my computer, but I'll be doing that here in a little while. I wanted to get this out of the way. But yeah, my opinion as far as technology has actually changed over the course of this year, being forced to upgrade from a budget model phone, which was my Pixel, to something of a higher caliber. Doing that, I will say, was probably the best decision I ever made, because I did need a flagship, but I wasn't willing to. I didn't need the newest and greatest, if that makes any sense to you. The newest and greatest, it's. People do this because they think that it's better. Honestly, the only thing you're missing out on is probably a new body design. If, like, take Samsung, for example. They changed up the body design between the S25, S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. They made it a little bit more rounded. And possibly better cameras. Personally, for me, I've tested the camera on this phone. It takes good pictures. So there's really no point in going after like the Ultra series unless you know you're going to be utilizing all of its features. Other than that, there's really no point. And I will say that is kind of the big selling point when it comes to phones. You have to focus on what you know you're going to be using. This is also why when I'm talking to a customer saying, hey customer, let's call this customer John for John. I usually ask 3 different questions. What's your budget, John? What brand do you prefer? Are you iOS or Android? And the third one, which is the big one, what is your budget? I'm paying for a phone monthly, not full outright. Now the reason why I say this is because at the time being, the company that I worked for was focusing more on not allowing customers to buy phones outright, which you can do. Don't believe, because you can still get the promotion on that. Don't believe. Well, actually, no, scratch that. If you're bringing a phone to trade in, you can get the promotional value for it if it's not done monthly, which does suck. But you can say I brought in a 23 Ultra and I was moving up to the 26 of the same model type. I could probably get maybe half of that off. I can lose it's a $1,300 phone, so cut that in half. That is $650. I could lose about $650 off of that amount and just have to pay the rest. Companies will do that. They will make you believe that putting it on the payment installment plan is the best option. There are only certain cases where I would say, yes, do it. If your phone is not worth a whole lot, so like say you're bringing me a old S10, I believe in this particular instance doing the payment arrangement because you'll get more for your trade-in. Same deal goes with budget phones. Be careful for companies that will pull this crap. I had to do this to ensure I was making money. T-Mobile was so heavily reliant on the new lines that they changed their commission structure to ensure that companies will make sure that they are pushing new lines out. And right now, T-Mobile, you're looking at for 2 lines, possibly closer to close to $200. And they're going to say, well, this line's free. Not completely true. You're probably getting it at a discounted rate, which discounted rates means you're probably paying like half of what it's actually worth. Companies will do that. Now, also, memorize your phone plan. Memorize all the perks. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. Because T-Mobile also made me do this to ensure that I was making the sale profitable. companies will do this. Let's take T-Mobile, for example, and I'm dealing with a customer who has 2 lines right now, and we're going to use older plans. Go 5G Plus. They did use all of their perks, but adding a line on Go 5G Plus was like 40 something bucks. You'd probably be paying an extra 20. Don't let them oversell you if you know you are not going to use it. And they can say, well, give it to a family member. I use that phrase a lot. Give it to a family member who doesn't live with you. Give it to a friend. Don't fall for that scheme. It is a bait and trick. It's a bait trap. They'll be like, and on top of that, we can upgrade your phones. You can get the latest promotion no matter what trade-in you provide. I don't believe that. Because they tried to pull the same crap with me. Don't also believe that they will up your credit, your EC, which is your equipment installment credit. Don't believe that. Because I tried looking into that option as well, and there was no point behind it. Because companies will do this stuff to you. They will trick you. Especially cell phone companies. Don't let them pull this crap. Not to mention, if you're doing a basic upgrade, and my store was guilty of this, they could trick you and say, sorry, we don't have the phone in stock, we can have it shipped. Because they don't want to waste phones that are in their inventory for something that they're not benefiting from. In sales, particularly wireless sales, upgrades do not give them a whole lot. You will not get more than $10 for an upgrade. Which $10 on their commission check for an upgrade. After taxes, you're probably getting like $2. Don't fall for that trick. And I'm revealing all my secrets. Because at this point, T-Mobile really pissed me off recently. Apparently, I signed an NCA and NDA clause with them, both lasting a year. Luckily for me, that year is done. So, they can't stop me for what I'm doing now. They tricked me. The company that I worked for tricked me. And I was thinking, like, this is a great opportunity. Yes, I made some decent money. But you have to focus on that side of it. Remember your plan's perks and benefits. If you are not using it, then you are overpaying. Another rule. When you're looking into accessory or wire or cell phone connected based accessories, know what you want. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Don't let them try to convince you otherwise either. Reasoning why is because, again, I was guilty of this. Now, granted, I had a lot more of them pay off. Because, like, say, watches and tablets, which are also called your wearable devices. Stuff like that. Now, granted, yes, I've had a lot more of those pay off. Watches more than tablets because unless you are using your phone consistently and you want to have, like, say, a tablet or a laptop on the road, there is no point in you getting a tablet. You'll be fine with a watch. Watches alone work as an extension to your phone, and they work better, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, this is an S25. This is a Watch 4 Classic. I love this thing. I got this for free from a friend. It doesn't have cell service on it, which is okay. I don't need cell service on my watch because I never leave home without my phone. I think there's been like maybe 2 times where how do I put this delicately? There has been only 2 times where I've needed to use cell service on my watch, and I am going to say it wasn't worth the money I paid, that I was paying monthly for it, because I had it on my Pixel watch, and there's only been like maybe 2 to 3 times where I used it. First time that I used it was to check to make sure everything was working. After that, I think it happened like maybe 2 times more after that. And the reasoning why is because my phone died and it wasn't charging. Back to what you should be doing with your phones. Really, unless you are dropping your phone consistently in a bucket of water, which, if you're doing that, you should not have your phone near you. If you are doing that, you should not be having your phone in your hand while working near, like, say, a sink, a toilet, I'm not going to say toilet because I am guilty of that, but I also have a phone in a case consistently that is waterproof. But not to mention, it's in my hand. When I'm not using it, it's always on the counter. But unless you have to consistently replace your phone, like within every 2 months, because you drop it in a bucket of water, you don't need the insurance. Just get a good screen protector and a heavy-duty case. Go rugged. I recommend rugged cases because rugged cases can come in all shapes and sizes. This OtterBox here, $80, and I got the holster for it for free because I got a coupon code because I got it through OtterBox. You do not need anything more than just a decent case and a screen protector. Now, blocks and cables are another thing. Blocks and cables, because companies aren't selling the blocks with the phones anymore, you should be investing in a proper block that works with your phone. Do not, unless you know your phone is capable of said power, do not go above what your phone's charging power is. Like for me, I have a wireless charger. I've got 2 actually. One is a twin pad, the other one is an upright stand type, which I use for my Galaxy. Personally, unless you know your phone's power, what it charges at on a norm, and you talk to, say, someone at Samsung. Like for me, I could talk to someone at Samsung. I've got connections. Thanks to me working at T-Mobile. I've got connections with Samsung people, Apple people. I know this stuff. You should not be buying anything that your phone can't handle. Nowadays, phones charge at a minimum of 20 watts. So a 20-watt C-type charger would be okay because you should be using the cable that you get with your phone. Unless you go through a company that you know and trust and know that in the past it has served you well. Take me, for example. I've went through many different companies. Anchor, Belkin, OtterBox too, because they make really good high-quality cables and blocks. I'm sticking with OtterBox for that. And for good reason too, because it is a very high-quality cable. Unless you know that your phone can handle that power, and you've gotten confirmation from someone who has tech knowledge, do not get like a 65 watt charger and plug in an S24 Ultra. You'll ruin your battery. Either that, or you could cause the battery to self-destruct, and you're out a $1,300 phone. Well, let me put it, $1,300 phone back then. If treated correctly, your phone can last you forever. Or until it stops receiving support. This is why I say, get a good case, get a good screen protector. This is the things that I am okay with being upselled on when I deal with cell phone companies and going in and getting phones. I'd rather get upselled on accessories than get upselled on something like this, where I'm never going to most likely use the cell service. I'm not going to pay for something I do not need. Learn that. Of course, rule number 2, learn your limits. Learn what you need. Do not go after a phone that is more than what you need. And I've got a good story. I was helping a customer at T-Mobile when this happened. And this customer his phone was damaged. It was badly damaged. And we had 2 options. He'd add a line to his account, get a free phone. And I believe it was a 22 Ultra. He had 2 options. Get a new phone on promotion by adding a line. Or he'd be paying for the phone outright, which would then put him in, because it wouldn't have any trade-in value. It has to be free of cracks, it has to be free of water damage, and it has to work. Unfortunately, his phone was obliterated. I couldn't help him. Do not let these salespeople try to add a line for you, unless you are willing to pay the price for it. Also, if you see a T-Mobile representative come out with 2 SIM cards to do the BOGO deal, don't accept it unless you know you are going to use it. Because nowadays, T-Mobile will screw you if you let them. I actually, again, this is another story. This is actually back around when I first started with them. It was about 2 to 3 months in. This customer comes in and the entire phone plan was screwed up. All that happened was she dunked her phone. It fell off her person. I believe it was either in her pocket or it was on the side of a boat, one of the two. But it got submerged in water. It will not work anymore. She needed a new one. However, this person, and it was down in Florida. This person, whoever worked on this phone, or whoever worked with her down there, screwed her up big time. It was bad. Like, for me to be able to undo all of this, I spent the better part of an hour on the phone with my care team, working on trying to undo the damage. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to put everything back where it was because she was on a grandfathered plan. Grandfathered plans are also your best friends. Your best friend is having a grandfathered plan. And don't let them force you. If they raise your fucking rates, because you do sign paperwork, you can actually take that to court. I found that out the hard way. Unless you authorize that change, they physically cannot do that to you. They try it, they're most likely going to fail. Also, this brings in another rule when dealing with cell phone companies. Do not let them convince you that your plan is not good. Also, do not let the representative tell you that your phone because of your plan, your phone does not have promotional value. It has promotional value. It's probably not going to be as much as the best ones, but it's something. Not to mention, in the course of the long run, you're probably going to be saving yourself close to $500, maybe more, with how things are nowadays. And I promise you that. Do you know why? I have experience with this stuff. Phone companies will do anything to make more money off of you, regardless of who you are. You could be literally 65 and over, and they would still try to pull a fast one on you. Not to mention, people on the phone, you can most likely get some of those old plans if you call in. Now, I don't know how much of that has changed, but if you were in my current predicament and you were, say, going back to T-Mobile after some weird reason, you're most likely going to be able to you're most likely still going to be able to get like the tax inclusive plans. You just won't have the good promotions. And honestly, the promotions aren't deal breaking. Unless you're that desperate for a phone and don't have a lot of money to spend on it monthly, then yeah, you really don't have a point. Take me again, for example. This customer that I worked with for probably the better part of a half a year, we got him set up with everything. Let's just state this much, it was not fun. Also, if you do not have a business, do not get a business account. Why? Business accounts give them more wiggle room to play with. There is no point in you doing that. Also, don't let them say, oh, this is a bundle deal. It's not a bundle deal. That does not exist. It's another scam from phone companies for them to get more money from you. Right now, I'm paying for 2 lines at Spectrum. Well, paying for one because my first line was for myself. It's free. And not to mention, it's $30. They're basically crediting my account that same 30 for that line. It does end after a year, but that's fine. Spectrum isn't that bad of a company to work with after looking at it. And I originally thought losing T-Mobile was going to be the end-all be-all. It's not. T-Mobile overcharges you, and they will keep doing that until they basically realize how badly they have screwed over their customers, and I'm one of them. They don't just screw over their customers, they screw over their employees too. It's bad how things are getting. Not just here in the States, but we're talking worldwide here, international. Companies that pull this crap don't receive respect in my book. Originally, I thought Spectrum was going to be bad. My opinion's changed on this. Spectrum is actually a really good company when it comes to phone service. Granted, yes, I'm using secondary towers, but it's not end-all be-all. I mean, I don't need hotspot because I got Wi-Fi through them as well. And like, say my routers die, but my modem still works. They have what's called a Spectrum Mobile Wi-Fi unit, which is built into the rig. I can literally fire up my phone will still have Wi-Fi in the house as long as my modem works. which that's not bad. Especially for the price that I'm paying, which is, I'm paying close to $25 now, and that's because I have extra stuff. I have a Wi-Fi extender, so I can hardwire my equipment, which is also why I'm not getting frame drops anymore. I have an extra Zumo box, which is a streaming kit, which is also hardwired. That's like another $5 there. Well, that's $10 there. I have the upgraded Wi-Fi. Overall, I'm supposed to be getting over a gigabit of speed, which is impressive. Gigabit Wi-Fi speeds, especially for me, that's huge. But yeah, I mean, you really don't have any reason for this. You don't have any reason other than if you just need it. So, but I mean, also my opinions have changed. Now on to the good stuff. I've seen the reviews of the Pixel 10. And originally I was ecstatic because they're going to be making their own in-house chips like they did with the Pixel Buds, which I'm actually going back to my Pixel Buds after so long. I completely forgot about these. And you know what? They're still pretty good. Like, I mean, it's not bad. Compared to what I was dealing with, these earbuds, they're not bad at all. Well, I'm saying not bad, but they're still not great. Because my Beats, which originally I stood behind, suck. I mean, I'm already not even 6 months in, and I'm going to have to replace them. Which is sad. Google is doing great things, but they're not doing it in the right way. I believe that they should not have released the Pixel 10 with the power output. This is kind of where I'm saying power output means everything. This is why I love Galaxy. They're taking gambles. They're taking risks with new technology, and then if it doesn't work, they can shut that program down and say, we'll get it working soon. Or we're going to remove it from this model. We'll bring it back on the next if you want to try it again. They're taking chances, which is something that I highly recommend. Which is actually hilarious. I used to be a huge advocate for Pixel. But after seeing what Galaxy is doing, I feel like that Google's fallen behind. Because they're putting a lot of their time into AI work, which it's not okay. I mean, yes, AI can do a lot, but you're limiting yourself. You're basically putting yourself behind the 8 ball when you're dealing with companies like Samsung, who have been making phones longer than Google. Same with Apple. Granted, yes, they're also working on AI, but they're not focused completely on it, which is okay because they're implementing new things into their new phones, which then get put back onto their older phones. Like, I mean, there's really no point. After seeing the Pixel 10 in action, I mean, I've went to a phone store recently just to play around with it. It's underwhelming. The hype that it was originally getting sucked. It was bad. Including the 10A, which would be a 3-year upgrade from what I was running, it sucked. There was no point in it. And I feel really disappointed in Google for that. Because that's also why I went over to Samsung, because not only that, their fucking help desk is atrocious. If they believe that their customer service is amazing, then I'm the freaking Pope. And I'm going to stand behind that. It's one of the many reasons why I left Pixel. Why I left Google in the dust. Except, I'm going to have to go back to them for a little while because I do like my Pixel Buds. The Buds are good. They've got good sound. But their phones, the watch, the watch is basically a glorified Fitbit. Which it's actually true because Google bought Fitbit out. It's literally the definition of a glorified Fitbit because it's using Fitbit technology. Like, there's no point in me running anything that is not unique that Google brings in. There's no point. It sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it fucking sucked. My overall experience with Google, it's not good. I love the Buds. I'll use the Buds daily. But you will not see me ever go back to a Pixel phone or a Pixel watch. The reasoning why is because this integrates perfectly with my Galaxy. I love Galaxy phone. I love my Galaxy. It is my baby. But you will never see me go back to a Google phone because the phone itself was underwhelming. Granted, yes, I love the Android Raw, which is a pure variation of Android. I liked that. But I did not like the fact being that my phone got way too hot when I tried to play games on it. It was really, not to mention the graphics quality and the nits in the screen, they suck. They basically were upping the camera, which, especially on an A model, I mean, that's, you don't go for a budget model phone for good camera. You don't. That's why flagships exist. So, the Pixel 10 line, they would need to, honestly, I'm surprised that they even released it, now that I think about it. If it was me, I would say, listen, we need like at least another couple of months on this phone. Otherwise, we're going to have some very unhappy customers. But no, the CEO decided to release it. Said, no, we can't afford to push it back anymore. Well, then that's your fucked up fault. That's how I see it. That's your fault. It's not mine. It's yours. It's underwhelming. That's also why a lot of the Pixel phones got returned. I heard about this. Now, I heard that a lot of the Pixel phones got returned. And the reasoning why is because it sucked. Let's be honest here. The phone sucked. They're getting beaten out by a phone that has very few problems with it. Galaxy phones got returned because some of the things were really messing with people. But the S25 is still around. It's still relevant. It's still a good phone. But the Pixel phones, since the agreement with Samsung ended, yes, Google partnered with Samsung to make their Pixel phones for a while as they needed to learn some things. Okay? Well, the problem is this. The second that you cut that cord, you're on your own. And what's the processing chip? You got Snapdragon, and then you've got the in-house Google one. It's not Genesis. It's something else. it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm never going back to Pixel after this. Especially after I get my Galaxy Buds. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to a normal Pixel phone ever again. I'd rather get a A35 from Samsung. Or whatever the A30 series is, because the A30 series from Samsung, it actually holds more ground. Granted, yes, some of the features suck and you're losing some features. Hell, I could even go to an FE. Spend the extra $150 on a FE model, because now Samsung has introduced wireless charging into the 25 FE, which was a really good move. It brought the phone itself to what is called the FE. The FE, which is called the Fan Edition, it's called a minor flagship. It's actually now holding the flagship part of it up. Granted, yes, it's using more of the Knox technology in the OS instead of One UI or the Knox chip, whatever the hell it's called. It's not using like the best Snapdragon, I believe. I don't even. It's their. I believe it's called the Equox or the Xenox, something like that. This one of those the Samsung in-house chip. But it's worth it. My dad has it. He loves it. Not to mention, wireless charging is a big deal nowadays. You're going to see it used a lot. But, yeah, so I've got my opinions on the Pixel now. Pixel is going downhill similar to how LG did. LG doesn't make phones anymore. And for good reason. They've put their time into what they do best. And honestly, if Google's going to be working on AI, they can't work on phones at the same time, because the problem is this. If you focus on one thing too much, you're going to start losing customers. And they lost me, who was a big advocate for them. So, let's see, we're going on an hour, close to it. I think I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to end this stream here. I know that this was not a game. It was more of a rant. But I felt like that I wanted to share a lot of things with you guys on my personal opinions as someone who sold phones but knows tech. And I'm sorry that stuff like this doesn't come up often on my channel on either category. I usually don't have like these vlogs and stuff like that. I don't really like them. But I think given after some things that I've read, Samsung is really they're pushing their money out. They're showing like, hey, listen, we are still here. We're going to show you what we're capable of. You won't ever see me use an iPhone, by the way. You might see my siblings do it, and that's just because they're part of the Apple cult. That's what I call it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your guys' support. If you guys are new to my Twitch channel, please follow me on here. I won't be doing vlogs often, but I'll do it if I feel like that there's something good to talk about. And then, if you guys are new to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this does get uploaded to YouTube after the stream. And after the stream ends, it gets uploaded to YouTube, so that then this way people can go and watch it. And if you enjoy the content on there, please hit the like button down below. Show your support. I don't really think I'm going to be doing a lot with vlogs. I'll be going back to gaming later on. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. You guys have a great day. Bye, guys.